It was me applauding for myself because I made it to Friday. There's no studio audience, so who's going to applaud? Who's going to applaud for you if not yourself? Right? You have to show other people how they should treat you. You should clap for me. Good morning, everybody. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Friday. It is May 14th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Well, how are you? How was your Thursday? Did you watch or listen to episode 605 of Martial Arts Radio? Did you check it out? How was it? Did you like it? For those of you that are enjoying those Q&A shows, make sure you get us some more questions for future Q&As. You can email Andrew. It's the best way. Andrew at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. Hit him up. And otherwise, how was your Thursday? I had a pretty solid day. It was a beautiful day. I finished my work at about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and just said, I'm gonna be done. It was kind of crazy. I worked on a bunch of stuff. One of the things I was working on, well, I worked on 2 things I want to tell you about. So first, I think I may have, I gotta check today. I think I found all of the scientific validation that I need for the flexibility program. I think we're up to like 15 references. Might not need all of them, but if I'm going to come along and tell people, hey, flexibility doesn't work the way you think it does, it works this way, they're going to say, come on, prove it. And I need to be able to prove it. And I can. And so this is what we're doing. So, worked on that a bunch, and part of my morning is going to be going back through, organizing that information a little better, making sure I'm not missing anything, and if I am, finding it. And then the second thing I worked on is a website for our books, whistlekickbooks.com. It's live, but it's not even close to done. Most of the information on it is generic from the template. But we have so many books now that it's become really hard to organize them. And we're gonna set up a separate website to help people find the right ones at Amazon. Because right now, even if you search for Whistlekick books at Amazon, you're gonna find some of them and not all of them. That's weird. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's just the case. You'll have that website. I worked on that for a while. Probably work on that a little bit every day, just in the afternoon, 15, 20 minutes here and there. Because it's a lot, so just chip away at it. Websites are not my favorite thing to do, but I do them because I'm decent at it, and it's cheaper than hiring somebody else to do it. That's a job that I've hired out. Let's see, I've hired at least 3 different web people over the years, and collectively they have been the worst hires that I've made. And I'm not talking about the old days. I'm talking about with Whistlekick and hiring assistants. It's been a nightmare. So I think if I was to do that again, I would probably just grab somebody on Fiverr. But for every other role, I'm pretty solid. I can hire somebody. What else did I do? Went to the gym, made some food. It's kind of the story of my life, isn't it? Go to the gym, make some food, do some work, go to bed. I've been rewatching Big Bang Theory. When my brother came over and we watched Mortal Kombat was that Sunday? I don't remember if it was Sunday or the weekend before. Anyway, I got HBO Max, so we could watch that. And there's a bunch of good stuff on there. But the movies that are on there are way too... Why are all movies so long? Why is the Snyder Cut of Justice League like 4 hours or 3.5 hours or something ridiculous? Why is Wonder Woman 84 2.5 hours? Movies don't need to be this long. I can't sit down and watch a 2.5 hour movie at night. I can't do it. I don't have the attention span. I'll fall asleep. But I'm watching Big Bang Theory. And I forgot how great that show was and how much that show changed society. That show brought nerd culture to the forefront. And I think is a big reason that nerds are more prominent in society. They felt seen and comfortable. I certainly identify. Stacy says, you better add in outside time today and this weekend. It's looking gorgeous. It certainly is. This weekend is pretty much all about getting ready to plant next weekend. Most plants are going out next weekend. And I do this every year. I'm good with planting the seeds, good with keeping the seedlings going. But when it comes to putting them in the ground, that takes a lot of work. So, we shall see. I've got a bunch of stuff that's ready that could probably go in now if it wasn't going to risk being so cold. The zucchini could go in, the peppers could go in. But I think a lot of other things are going to need a week, if not two. There are some things I probably should have planted sooner. Stacy says, planting party. Yeah, I guess. A lot of what I'm planting this year is going in an area I've never planted before, so I'm going to have to do a lot of digging. Fortunately, I have a pickaxe. Pickaxes are way better for moving earth than in this context than shovels. Right, Kat? When I went to the gym yesterday, is the last thing I'll tell you about my Thursday, and then we'll move on. Got out of the car, where I pulled in, and the gym has a dog. The dog's great. If you follow me personally on social media, you may have seen the dog before, Vulcan. He's a weirdo, but adorable. But there were two other dogs. And I was so distracted that I left half of my stuff in the car when I got out. And I went over and I was like, oh, dogs. And I sat and I played with the dogs for about a half hour. Two very, very adorable, I don't know what they were, miniature poodle kind of things. They were fluffy and snuggly, and it was the best part of my day. Dogs. Yay, dogs. It was a 3-dog day. I haven't had a 3-dog day in a long time. Anything else going on this weekend? I don't think so. It's all about plants. Plants, plants, and more plants. Fortunately, it's going to be nice weather. I was not looking forward to the possibility that it would be cold and rainy when I had to move dirt and everything, but we're on track. The dandelions are coming in strong. A couple more weeks before we mow. Because here's the thing. See, everybody looks at dandelions as a weed. I was thinking about this the last couple of days. All right. Let's think about dandelions versus grass. One of them nourishes the soil and provides food for bees. And you can eat it. And it has a pretty flower. The other one is grass. I don't understand people's hatred of dandelions. I don't get it. Hey, here's a free wildflower. I'm looking forward to it. It should be in the next few days as it warms up, maybe even this weekend, when I sit out on my back porch and there are so many bees buzzing around that I can hear it. I can just hear bzzz as they go to all the dandelions while my neighbors mow all their grass. That's fine. Go ahead. It's the easiest thing you can do to help the bees. Did you really just do that? Hold on. You did. Okay. Come here. Come here. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, that's disappointing. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Susan, I can't believe you just did that. I had a box over there for the cat. And the last few days she's gone and laid in it. and she just stepped into it and peed. It's nowhere near her litter box. She's never done that in her life that I'm aware of. Cat getting old. I'm struggling with this. She sat on my lap for about a half hour last night, as I watched Big Bang Theory. And I just brushed her, and she was very content, but it was very obvious how thin she was. All right, let's move on, because I don't need to bring you guys down. Okay, let's see what you gave me to talk about. I think I saw some stuff come through from Frank. Let's see if anybody else gave me anything. If you give me stuff to talk about, I'll talk about it. Stuff to read, I'll read it. Quotes, I'll interpret and respond, relate them to martial arts. Stories, anecdotes. Jeremy, what do I do about this? I'll take all comers. All right. Frank has given us jokes and quotes. The jokes for Funday Friday. May is National Photograph Month. Did you hear about the photographer? Let's try that again. Reading. Excuse me. Did you hear about how the photographer died? It makes me shudder. Where does a cow hang his photos? In a museum. What do you call a mixed media artist without a girlfriend? Homeless. What kind of photos does a turtle take? Selfies. What happened to the fastest camera in the world? It burst into flames. Did you hear about the guy who stole all those photos? I think he was framed. Why did the photographer get into an argument with the curator at the art gallery? He wasn't in the right frame of mind. What do you call a photo taken by a cat? A portrait. What did Snow White say when her photos weren't ready yet? Someday my prince will come. Why was the photo arrested? Because it was framed. Why can't you find good photography jokes? They haven't been developed yet. Oh, that's the best one. I was going to become a photographer, but I decided not to because of all the negatives. The fastest way to make money from photography is to sell your camera. Oh, that one's so real. I love taking pictures. I do not consider myself a photographer. I am not that good. Stacy says, thanks, Frank. These are fun. The geek photographer and me laughed hard. Stacy is a wonderful photographer. I am not. I have taken some lucky shots in my day. I've got a beautiful picture of a hawk over the Grand Canyon. Probably my best photo. I've got a few cool shots from when I was in the Galapagos. My favorite thing to take pictures of is animals. I love taking pictures of animals. I do not like taking pictures of people. Second is scenery outside. And I've taken a lot of pictures from the top of mountains I've hiked. And that's fun. But, yeah. I bet for whatever reason that I struggle taking pictures of people, it's the same reason I have trouble relating to people. Probably similar. Let me think. Are the people I know that take pictures of people good with people? Yeah. Maybe not exclusively because I don't have that big of a sample set to work with, but I think generally, yeah. Interesting. All right. Let's read the quotes that we got today from our friend Frank. And YouTube's not showing those, so let's move over here. Frank, I appreciate that you still send these on Facebook. Okay. May is both Military Appreciation and Asian American Month. So let's look at some quotes from a former Army Lieutenant Colonel and current U.S. Senator, Tammy Duckworth. She served in Iraq and, quote, lost both of her legs and some mobility in her right arm after her helicopter was hit by a rocket-propelled grenade fired by Iraqi insurgents. First off, the Asian American month. Okay. There's a lot of controversy right now about, maybe not a lot, but there is controversy about whether or not Asian Americans are experiencing hate crimes at a higher rate than they were. I don't know. I'm not compiling the data. I know that any hate crime is terrible. I know it's stupid and crummy, and this is a point where I'd be using a whole bunch of expletives, but I won't. And while traditional martial arts is not solely the domain of, or is not solely rooted in Asian countries, the vast majority of us who practice traditional martial arts do so from an Asian tradition. I would guess probably 90%. The biggest exception being Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So when we consider that, I'd like us to just kind of remember that we have ties to Asian culture. And hopefully that means something to you. I'll leave it there. Young women are not as likely to receive the encouragement they need from role models like teachers and parents, and they should be encouraged. Studies show women are just as likely as men to win when they do run. And I'm assuming this is a quote about entering politics. Started listening to an interesting podcast episode yesterday, hosted by Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, who is now an investor and has a podcast called Masters of Scale. And I don't love the format so much, but he gets, because of who he is and who's behind him, he gets amazing guests. And President Obama is on, and it's a new episode. And it's interesting because it reminds me of, 2008, 2009 Obama, just the way he's talking. I am, most of you know I'm not deep into politics, but I like a lot of what he has to say, and he's an interesting person. And what he's talking about in this podcast is really about, at least the stage that I'm in, running for office, what that's like, being on the, he's given some behind the scenes, and it's kind of fascinating. And I mean, let's be honest, I don't think I would ever encourage anyone to run for political office, but that's a whole other discussion. But the fact that our representation is so skewed is weird, and I would venture to say is wrong, and it feels like it's slowly changing, and that's a good thing. Number 2, my therapist would be so happy to know I'm doing all this walking. They've done a great job of putting me back together, haven't they? Now, I'm assuming, because I don't know what Senator Duckworth looks like, but I'm assuming if she lost both of her legs and she's walking, she's got some prosthetics. And I think prosthetics are fascinating. It really are. Just the stuff people can do now. Remember and forget about the fact that he murdered his girlfriend, but was he from South Africa? The Blade Runner guy? He had those crazy prosthetic legs and could run super duper fast. I mean, it wasn't that long ago people who needed to have their legs amputated would just die. And now they can run marathons and sprint faster than normal. Like, that's crazy. I think that's fascinating. Technology rocks. It's important to have women in leadership positions. I agree. Because our experiences are different from those of the men we serve with, and that helps us identify problems we can fix. All right. So I've mentioned this on the show before. It is unlikely it's ever going to become a priority, but I have the notes for a book on philosophy, and it's all about complex systems and nature, science, etc. If we take a big step back and take a look at society, whether that's, a state level, country level, global level, it's pretty complex. There are a lot of people with a lot of different experiences. And the most clear-cut distinction in population are those born as men, born as women. Right? And yeah, I'm choosing that language carefully. The biology is just, it's different, right? And if we want to try to create a body, which government, that mimics and is representative of the components, the people, it should have more women. If women are half the country, women, not in any kind of mandated way, but ideally, if we're trying to create a collective experience that can provide input, that entity should be roughly half women. Maybe we'll get there. I don't know. I don't want to run for office. If I ran for president, I'm pretty sure I'd be assassinated. I'd either not get far enough or I'd get assassinated, because I have some strong views that I don't think everyone wants to hear. You all probably want to hear them, but I'm not going to say them. We are all dishonored when a veteran sleeps on the same streets that he or she has defended. We are all dishonored when a veteran's family has to live in a shelter while he or she is out fighting for us. We need to fix that. I agree. I am not a big fan of government intervention on just about anything. Most people know I'm a pretty solid free market capitalist. However, one of the places where I'm going to look, where I think government should be doing something, is if someone is going to become part of the military, whether by choice or by force, which I'm not a big fan of the force, but let that go for a moment. That government should be responsible for dealing with the consequences to that person's life for them having become part of the military for the rest of their lives. If they come out with psychological trauma, it's got to be dealt with. We need to do a better job. And one of the things I'm proud of our country, of our private citizens, is we seem to be aware of these problems, and we are trying to help them. We are trying to fix them. Obviously, it's a big problem. But as we move more and more towards technology solutions in combat, drones and whatnot, we're going to have less of this, and that's a good thing. Well, there's a debatable issue there. Wow, Frank gave us political stuff. I got to be careful. I'm veering off here. If somebody gave who they are, their life, their limbs, their youth, to you, to protect you, to help you, you would probably feel responsible. And you would probably do everything you could to help them because you are a kind person. But when those people become numbers on a spreadsheet, it becomes a lot easier to dismiss them or not provide resources. The VA should have way more money. would move a lot of money from other things. Wow. It's the most I've talked about politics probably on this show ever. Fascinating. All right. Okay. Time to go. Time to drink more coffee. Time to work on what's becoming a research paper and not a book. I haven't written a research paper in a very long time. Apparently I still know how to do it. First, collect all of the research and then put it in a pile. Stacy says, heart to you, take care, have a great day and weekend. You too, Stacy, and to all of you, I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. I hope if you're new, you'll hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube. Catch it later in your podcast feed as an audio show. And if you got questions or feedback or whatever stuff you want to throw into the mix, drop it in the comment section below once the show closes, or you can email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com, and I'll print it out and I'll read it on the air. If you want to get this mug, go to whistlekick.com. Got a bunch of other stuff over there. We got training programs at whistlekickprograms.com. Soon you can find the books at whistlekickbooks.com, or, they're all on Amazon right now. Go grab a copy of Master Hopkick Origins. That right now is our best-selling book. It has already come close to outselling Faith. It's been nuts. If I had known, maybe we would have done that a long time ago. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks, everybody. Have a phenomenal weekend. Peace.